Before we begin with this incredible, obviously flawless video, I would like to briefly review two major parts of the channel. The first is the coffee shop members. These are fellow content creators that have joined forces with me to create amazing content. Please check them out and support them. Collabs with them will be happening on their channels and mine throughout the next few weeks and will likely remain that way for the near future. The second part is my membership deals. For my servers, talking to me, other members, versus battles, games, prizes, and more, you can join now for only $5 a month via Cash App. Simply comment down below if you want the Cash App discount membership. Thank you all, and without further ado, let's get back to the video. Goku, Dragon Ball, Thor, Marvel Comics. All of these things are wildly popular. Whenever we decide to merge the two, whether in what ifs or verse battles, things tend to get a little nasty, but in a good way. Today, we for sure have some spicy content, as we are exploring the what if of Goku growing up on Marvel Comics Asgard. Shout out to the member Fran for requesting these scenarios. This will be broken up into two parts with 5 chapters each. In part 1, we will explore a scenario in which Goku arrives on Asgard with his inherent mission and drives as a Saiyan intact. That is, the drive to dominate. In part 2, we will explore a different timeline. One in which Goku arrives on Asgard similar to how he landed on Earth in his own story. A young, dumb warrior baby destined for greatness after bumping his head and forgetting his savage nature. I hope you guys enjoy this story, and without any hesitation, I proudly present What If Goku Landed on Asgard, the complete story. Part 1, The Ultimate Saiyan. Chapter 1, The War. Heimdall rubbed his eyes. Surely, he was hallucinating. The great god, the wondrous observer of Yggdrasil, struggled to take in what he was currently seeing. How could this be? There, on the outskirts of a cosmic branch, there was a new realm. Scrambling, the great god fled down Rainbow Bridge, urgently rushing to alert his king to the newfound threat. Bursting through the great halls, Heimdall strode proudly down to the chambers of the all-powerful one. Yes, Heimdall, Odin's great voice rang out. Heimdall bowed reverently, but could not keep the excitement out of his aura. My lord, a new realm has appeared in space, Heimdall announced. I sense warriors, strong ones even. How do we handle this? Odin sighed and pulled himself up from his throne. As usual, war was upon the great Norse god. The battle was not as wild as Odin thought it would be. The planet was hostile for sure, with warriors in large flocks swarming the Asgardian army. Still, the soldiers held fast and beat back against the warriors. Using his mighty mind, Odin sent a psionic wave towards the enemy. Saiyans, he discovered through thought. As he slew the king, he could not help but look down upon the planet. He sensed power. Potential great power. A baby. Chapter 2, The Hammers. Odin smiled down happily upon his children. Thor, his powerful son, the god of thunder. His other son, adopted on the day the 11th realm appeared, Goku. Both boys had grown together on the battlefields, as Goku's Saiyan nature allowed him to progress as fast as his godly brother. Loki, Odin's third son, bonded with Goku more so than he did with Thor. This bond seemed to annoy Thor, although Thor handled it well. After Thor and Goku had taken down many foul beings spread throughout time and space, Odin felt it was necessary to award Goku with his own weapon. Thus, Goku received his own hammer, Vigir, which is named after Mighty. Vigir was a powerful weapon, forged in the cosmos, and a way to represent the might of Goku's dead race. Goku wielded Vegir with great pride, and could oftentimes be found sparring Thor. The young warrior and the young god would dance with fury, their weapons clashing with earnest. Mjolnir and Vegir were oftentimes proving to be excellent sparring partners, as both were some of the most feared objects in creation. It was not long until the legend of Son Goku and Vegir spread throughout the realms. Heck, it was rumored this young warrior even rivaled the god of thunder himself, Thor. Chapter 3, Loki Plays Favorites. As Thor ran off to protect Midgard, Loki took time to help mold Goku into a promising figurehead for Asgard. A gifted warrior himself, Loki spent time sparring with Goku, training the young Saiyan to deal with all sorts of wild, magical threats. Learning quickly, Goku listened to the stories of how Odin was a murderer, how Odin the Conqueror had slaughtered the family of both Loki and Goku. Sensing his innate drive to dominate, Loki molded this mentality to his own desired results. He turned Goku into a bloodlusted monster, one set on getting revenge for his fallen brothers and sisters. Determined to take Asgard with his new partner, Loki, Goku trained night and day as a warrior. With his great ape form, Goku was quite fearsome. Still, Loki helped him become even more fearsome as he helped him unlock 3 different Saiyan forms. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, along with Vegir, was powerful enough to shatter galaxies in a battle with an ancient being. Loki was beyond delighted. Still, there was more power to be had. He could sense a further stage of power for Goku. They would seek their answer through magic. Chapter 4, The Fourth Stage. Loki tilted his head back and laughed. It was a menacing, heartless cackle, one that would certainly strike fear in the hearts of his enemies if they had heard it. To Goku, it was a laugh of pride, one he could get behind. At this point, the corruption of Loki was beyond complete. Goku was now determined to take Asgard in the name of the Saiyans. Although he was confident in his third form he could take the throne, Loki urged him to relax. This was their final step, and a land beyond time and space, beyond even Asgard itself. This was where they would find real knowledge. It did not take long. Loki returned, a sparkle in his eye. He approached Goku, who stood stoically with Vegir. Loki placed a hand on his forehead and began the incantation. Nature was then defied. Goku began shouting, his raw power emanating from his being. Loki held fast, blessing his most powerful ally with knowledge. After several moments, the shouting ceased. Goku stood. Super Saiyan 4 was now achieved. They were ready for war. Chapter 5, Challenging the Throne. Thor felt his anger boil over. They dared challenge the throne of Asgard. His father, the all-powerful Odin, sat quietly at his throne. "Father, they are coming," Thor shouted. Odin sighed. "This is not the Goku we knew that is coming," Odin warned. The god put a hand on Thor's shoulders and met his gaze. "We must fight for our lives, and the lives of the kingdom." Gravely, Thor nodded. Understanding the plan, Thor exited the palace, ready for the upcoming battle. "Greetings, my son," Odin said quietly. Loki appeared several meters away, scowling. "Do not call me such things, you old, miserable rat. Myself and Goku will be sure to turn this place into the proper kingdom it should be." "You won't just betray Goku as well?" Odin asked quietly. Loki hesitated, then smiled again. "Such questions matter not in a time like this, Odin," Loki sneered. "After all, you have bigger things to worry about." On cue, the halls rumbled. Odin looked over and snarled as the walls tore apart. Loki had somehow taken over the destroyer armor, and it was supercharged. "You have changed, brother," Thor shouted. In the sky, Goku hovered, twirling the gears slowly in his hands. His Super Saiyan 4 transformation giving off unreal power. "This is the day Asgard falls," Goku said. Thor grunted. "Nay, I am afraid today you will meet the rest of your people." Goku narrowed his eyes. Thor was serious. Deadly serious. The Saiyan warrior charged up, and with speed that could make gods envious, he rushed Thor, crashing right into his brother. The two clashed, their blows shaking Asgard itself. Thor soon let himself go to the violence and the chaos, to the madness only a warrior could truly know. Goku gritted his teeth, firing off blast after blast, swinging the gear with the strength of a true Saiyan. Thor did not relent and fought back bravely. As he charged in, Goku caught Thor in the jaw with the gear, sending him hurtling away. Odin roared as he blasted through the chest of the armor. Built to fight Celestials, this was a supreme work of Asgard. Still, Odin did not care. Damn it to hell. As Loki teleported in to stab his father, Odin whirled, caught in the heat of moment, and caught the blade, turning it upon his own son. He held Loki with shock as he breathed his last breaths, and Loki grinned, then screamed for son Goku. Hearing the dying cries of his brother Loki, Goku turned towards the scene. Odin had done it. Goku flung himself towards Odin. Summoning all of his power, Goku combined his own power, some of the magic Loki had taught him, and the inherent power of a gear to blast Odin. The great god screamed and fell to the ground. Even he could only withstand such power for so long. Rising from the rubble, Thor wiped the dirt from his eyes. He heard the screams of his father. Flying up, Thor saw Goku standing over Odin, blasting away with all his might. Thor only had one shot. It had to be a killing blow. Closing his eyes, Thor reached into the heart of the storm that made all storms. He reached into his own force as a god. With a sad heart, Thor let loose the god blast. As Odin slept and Thor wept while holding the bodies of his dead brothers, Heimdall, the seer of all, swore he had never seen such a sadder sight. Now, with that dark-ass Elseworld story out the way, what would happen if the arrival went differently? What if Goku didn't come with the desire to dominate and hit his head like in the other story, his original story in Dragon Ball? Let's find out. Part 2 of this saga is called Goku Ragnarok, Chapter 6, Landing. Thor led the team to the new realm. He discovered a planet soon after. He learned of their warrior customs and their traditions. He watched them perish at the hands of a genocidal maniac, some bozo named Frieza. Thor slayed this wretched being and rescued a baby that had gotten lost in the fray. A Saiyan baby that was sent off for what Thor could only assume was to dominate, as he has learned was their custom. The pod was damaged, and Goku seemed to have taken some head damage. He was kind, yet a fierce warrior, not some mindless, dominance-driven drone. Thor was content to raise him as a little brother. The fierce child, son Goku, grew up under the watchful eye of the God of Thunder, maturing into a proper warrior. Loki, seeing this, found it to be disgusting. He tried to influence the young Saiyan, but fortunately, Thor and the other Asgardians looked out for the young Goku. At one point, Loki attempted to kill Goku in an effort to lessen the obstacles between himself and the throne. In the battle, when faced with certain death, Goku achieved Super Saiyan for the first time. With his newfound power, along with his power gained training under Thor, Goku fought Loki and barely escaped with his life. Chapter 7: Gaining the Odin Force. The great people of Asgard did not anticipate the death of their god Odin. One does not simply anticipate the death of the all-powerful. It is a concept that seems alien to such beings of cosmic nature. Still, it was another god that helped plan the fateful end of Odin. This was Loki, of course, who is still furious after being banned from Asgard after his battle with Goku. With time, Loki returned for battle. This time, he brought a rampaging Mangog. Odin engaged Mangog, and while he defeated the mighty beast, he himself suffered a great mortal wound. On his deathbed, he granted the Odin Force to perhaps his greatest son, Goku. The power merged with Goku as his stepfather perished, and it is said the light itself could even be seen from Midgard. With his new power, Goku spent much time early on alone, confused, and sad. It was not easy just becoming a god, especially when it came at the cost of losing his own father. Goku began learning about the Odin Force and learning how to use the power it came with. As he matured in power, his fate as a warrior became more and more obvious. Goku would have the strength to perhaps reshape the realms themselves if he needed to. Chapter 8: Strongest There Is. At one point, due to wanting to seek his own power, Goku found himself putting aside using the Odin Force entirely, as Goku wanted to master himself as a warrior. However, he himself could only ever get to a third version of his own Super Saiyan state. Seeing how this bothered him, and just how bothered Goku was by this, and the fact that Goku would not just consult the Odin Force, Thor offered to take Goku to Midgard to train. Goku agreed, and Thor, who was now at this point King Thor, took him to Earth. Here, Goku met many heroes, including the Avengers. He trained in martial arts with Captain America, and was shocked when he learned new skills. He brawled with the Hulk, who proclaimed himself to be the strongest there is. In a wild exchange, Goku was knocked out of Super Saiyan 3, and was forced to transcend in power in order to match the Hulk. Keep in mind, Goku was refusing to use the Odin Force. As a result, Goku unlocked Ultra Instinct and defeated the Hulk narrowly. After this, Goku went to Kunlun. Here, the immortal Iron Fist instructed Goku on how to properly harness his own energy and life force. Goku had to master himself beyond perfection if he was to fully unlock his potential. After much time spent under the fist, Goku departed, convinced he was now a complete warrior. Perhaps Goku had become the strongest there is. Chapter 9: War of the Realms. With Malekith taking over the realms, only Midgard stood left to be defended. After realizing Asgard and King Thor had fallen, Goku returned to Earth after getting stronger by dimension hopping with Doctor Strange. Assembling a team that included Gladiator, Hulk, Nova, Robbie Reyes, and his wretched brother Loki, Goku returned to the ruins of Asgard. Here, the team was met by Surtur and an army of demons. They battled, and Master Ultra Instinct Goku, along with Gladiator, brought down the giant fire demon. Surtur disappeared, but not before promising an even more dangerous Ragnarok coming soon. Finding Thor imprisoned on Asgard, Goku freed him, and they returned to the battlefield, seeking revenge for the realms. Before departing, Goku accepted the Odin Force back into his heart. He understood now that it would take more than just his own power to protect the universe, and that acknowledging that did not make him weak. Odin Force Goku and King Thor helped turn the tides of battle, and the war was soon won. At the end, Thor and Goku discovered a horrible message. Ragnarok, the true death of gods, was coming. Chapter 10: Goku Ragnarok. If you have not liked the video by now, please do so. This is a great story I wrote, and I hope you enjoy it this far as we get on our final chapter. Goku and Thor trekked through the ruins of the destroyed planet. After hours, they found the earrings. Donning them, the two beings merged, becoming one. Goku, Odin's son, returned to Asgard, Mjolnir in hand, the blood of gods for both Saiyans and Asgardians racing through him. He would need it. The final battle was upon them. Surtur and its Twilight Sword glinted in the distance. Hela and her armies howled from another angle. Odin and the undead armada raged ahead. Loki and the Frost Giants approached as a final wave, Mangog marching among them. He had been returned from oblivion. This was bad. All trembled before the final army, all except for King Goku, Odin's son. With a wave of Mjolnir, Goku, Odin's son, charged, attacking the armies that threatened his existence. In the distance, he heard the Avengers attack Loki's army. Far off, Beta Ray Bill, Gladiator, and a contingency of heroes held off Mangog. Goku blocked the Twilight Sword, and with a roar, slaughtered the Demon King with a God Blast. Goku, Odin's son, huffed, then snarled. "I hear you," he screamed. All fighting ceased at the roar of the mighty King of the Gods. Raising Mjolnir, he tore open a hole in space with a bolt of godlike energy. Before anyone could stop him, before Loki could ask him what the hell was happening, the merged Saiyan Asgardian god disappeared into the portal. Ragnarok ended that day, but what was the cost? So, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like I said at the beginning, please check out everybody that I mentioned in the Coffee Club villain group. Make sure to check out membership, comment down below if you like it, and if you like videos like this, make sure to hit the like button and show some support and love. Anyway, it's been your boy YFV, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.